What is up, guys? It's Max Merck here, and this is the 2008 BMW Z4 M Roadster. I have this car for the day. We brought it here to 7580 Dragway in Monrovia, Maryland, and this is the car. It's the Roadster, and it has an optional hardtop on it, finished in it's an odd color. It's finished in a dark blue. And we'll go over the car and show some of the design elements. The design of this Z4, the Z4 M and all the Z4s is pretty controversial back in the day when it first came out, which was almost 10 years ago, right now 9, almost 10 years ago. A lot of people said this car looked like a clown shoe, and they're not necessarily wrong, but in my opinion, I think it's a pretty classy design. You have this design line going down here, and then the really distinct feature of this car is you have this big sloping hood right here, and the back end right here is really short steps. So when you're driving the car, it's a really weird sensation because you have this long hood, and right behind you, you have a really small trunk, so you really have to adjust how you drive. I think it works really well. And up top, this car does come from the factory with a soft top. You can put this optional soft hard top on it. This one's finished in definitely unique and stands out. So on the wheels of this Z4 M, we have the stock BMW 18-inch wheels. They're twin 5-spoke wheels. They're wrapped in 225 tires. They're as is 18 inches. In here you have some aftermarket lug nuts. These are not stock. Your brakes, your brake rotors, your cross-drilled brake rotors go all around the brake rotor, and then you have this red painted M caliper. And aside from that, everything else in this car is stock when it comes to the brakes, rotors, and wheels. So the back end of this car is really subjective on who likes it, who doesn't. A lot of people say this car is feminine. Like I said, my mom thinks this car is cute. I think it looks good. I really like the design of the taillights right here. It's very BMW-esque. You turn the lights, you have these LED light bars, and I think it looks very good, even for its 10-year-old age. Up top, a really distinct feature is this little, I wouldn't call it a spoiler, but there's a really nice design element to the hard top, and I think it really adds a nice, unique touch, and you can tell the little subtleties from this car. You can tell it's an M car, and that it's built to be a performance car. Down here you have a very similar spoiler. It's nice, it's an open spoiler, it's not a lip spoiler. And some other cool features that kind of give off a performance vibe are the grayed out brake light right here, whereas in the typical Z4 you would have the red. Right here you have the M badge, of course. You don't have a Z4 badge, which I like. I like this M badge smack right there. And then your BMW roundel. And then going down to the bottom, you have on this car, we have equipped an aftermarket Meisterschaft exhaust system, the full exhaust system. And it sounds incredible. I mean, the straight 6 from the E46 M3 that they put in this car, it sounds amazing. Once you get above 4,000 RPM, it screams, and it kind of sounds a bit like an F1 car in the really high upper rev range, and it sounds really good. It's very raspy BMW, and it's just an amazing exhaust system. So at the heart of this car is the engine. It's the same engine from the E46 M3. It's the straight 6, and it makes 338 brake horsepower and 269 pound-feet of torque. And this particular engine has some modifications done to it. You can see the carbon fiber intake and bits right there. I don't know the details of that, and that's about it for the engine. It's the same engine as the E46 M3, and that really is a lot of power for this car, considering how much it weighs. Now we're on the interior of the M4, and we're here with my friend / cameraman Ashwin, and we're going to be talking about the driving dynamics and how the car feels on the road. So this is the key of the car. It's the old style BMW key. So even before the smart key fobs, you have the mechanical key with the buttons. The buttons on this one don't really work. That was one of the weak points of this key. But start it up from the clutch. And like I said, this car has a Meisterschaft exhaust, and you'll hear it's going to get really loud. So if you guys can't hear me, I apologize ahead of time. We'll go ahead and put it in sport mode. There's a sport button right here, and we'll set off. Well, before we start off, I should probably mention that the interior of this car is fairly basic. You get some radio controls right here. You can get the optional iDrive, but it's really nothing special. You have the really basic BMW radio, the most basic of radios. And down here you have some vent controls. It's a bit confusing on the way back from picking up this car up. It was a little confusing. Below that you have some heated seat controls. You have your roof controls, your DSC traction control. You have your tire pressure button, and that's pretty much it. On the steering wheel you have your typical steering wheel buttons, cruise control, signal wiper, and you have your automatic headlight switch right here to the left of the steering wheel. Up here you have your dome light, windows, and that's pretty much it for this car. It's really a basic, purist sports car. As for storage goes in this car, you get some really small storage pockets here. You have your glove box. Up here you have a storage compartment right here, which is not too bad. And that's about it for this car. It's like I said, it's a really purist M sports car. So setting off, first gear. One thing about this car is the clutch is a bit heavy and springy, but the good thing is that the bite point, I don't know how to explain it, but the bite point when you're starting off, it actually isn't too bad. You don't really stall this car very easily. I mean, as soon as you lift your foot off the clutch, it'll start rolling on its own, so you don't really need to give it much gas at all. So starting, it's not bad. Whereas in other cars I've driven, it's very jerky. This car, I don't know, the clutch, it's an M Performance part, so everything's really stiff, sharp, and good. And another thing I'd like to point out is the gears. It has pretty long throws. However, the good thing about this is it clicks into place. You really get that satisfying click of the shift knob every time you click it into place. So every gear shift is really, you know which gear you're going into. Another thing I should probably point out about the car is that all BMW stick shift cars, they come with hill start assist. So whereas in the typical stick shift car, if you want to go uphill, you would have to use the handbrake, or you'd have to feather the clutch to get it up the hill. Whereas in this car and other M Performance models, when you want to go off the hill, it'll hold the car for 3 seconds after you lift your foot off the brake, and that makes for hill starts a lot less intimidating and a lot easier. And as far as that, I only have about 10 to 12, 14, 15 hours of learning of a stick shift, of driving a stick shift, and this car is pretty easy to drive. Some other points of the interior are the steering wheel is extremely thick. That's with all M cars. They have extremely thick steering wheels, and the shift knob, typical M shift knob. And as for interior appointments, that's pretty much it. You don't get too many luxuries in this car. It's all about the driving experience. So the brakes in this car, they're of course the M Performance brakes. They're extremely good. So right now we'll go 60, and I'll hit the brakes. This car, the brakes, they're crazy good, and especially what this car weighs. So the steering feel of this car, as you'd expect in any BMW, is extremely direct and sharp. So wherever you point the car, it goes. And especially the setup of the front engine, rear wheel drive, the long hood, short end, this car handles like no other. I mean, on Top Gear and other shows, they've discussed how this car actually quite possibly drives better than the Porsche Cayman of its time. So as we head back down the drag strip, I'll show you guys. The handling of this car really is great. As we get into the upper rev range, you can really hear the engine scream, the straight six. The brakes are amazing in this car, as I showed you guys earlier. The steering is extremely heavy, in the best way possible. I don't mean that in a bad way. The steering is extremely heavy, and it's really direct. I mean, as you'd expect in any M car. The M Performance division of BMW, they already have such high standards that pretty much any car that comes out of the M Performance division, everyone already knows it's going to have amazing handling, amazing throttle response, amazing everything. And the same goes for this car. And I was watching an episode of the Drive Network on YouTube, and they were talking about how this car, the BMW Z4 M, could quite possibly be the best 10-year-old car you could buy today. And I don't necessarily disagree with them, because I mean, it's just a future classic, this car. Especially in stick shift with manuals dying out. This car really is a pleasurable car to drive. So right now we're going to test the quarter-mile time of the Z4 M, and I'll read you guys out the time slip afterwards. I don't know how accurate it's going to be. We're using an iPhone app right now, but from what I know, it's accurate for the most part. This is a quarter-mile drag strip. So I have DSC inactive, so traction control is off. I'll go ahead and launch the car. That didn't really work. The track is wet. It just spins. Yeah. Should probably turn traction control back on, because this car, with all the power that it has, it just spins. Okay, so the time slip based off the app shows a 60-foot time of 2.29, an eighth mile time of 9 seconds, a quarter-mile time of 13 seconds at 93 miles an hour. So I hope you guys enjoyed this entire review of the BMW Z4 M. If you guys want to see more cars like this or more videos of any kind, be sure to put it in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys think, any suggestions, and thank you guys for watching.